Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. I love when we get together with people here because you just learn everybody's story, what makes them different, what they do in life, and how amazing it is, and how they blend different things together to help other people. And this gentleman certainly does. Multifaceted, from performing to intuitiveness and all of that, and how it can support you and me. We're going to talk with him a little bit more about that. I've seen him in action when it comes to the intuitive part. Let's learn about the other part. Xander Martinez joins us today on the program. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Steve? I'm just going. I'm pushing. I'm getting along to get along. You know, how was your holiday, man?
Yeah, it was good. It was quiet, but intentionally quiet. It was real nice. How about you?
Yeah, same thing. Intentionally quiet when it was, but I made actually a lot of plans with friends, and they took me out, and it was just a great balance. You know what I mean? So it's exactly what I need. Still catching up on rest, but all for good reasons.
I need to catch it. I'm right there with you, and it's like I have plans tonight to see a tribute band. I have plans tomorrow night to see a concert. It's like, what am I doing? I need to get sleep.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, it's a time of the year. You want to do stuff and have fun and all of that.
Memories.
You got a lot going on. Definitely having fun. Now, we've identified the intuitive tarot card reading part of you previously. We're going to put that to the side, get back to that today in a little bit. But you've also got a performance side of you, specifically dance. Let's recap that and go a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to. So this is how it all started. So we're going to take you way back. So this is where I feel exactly where it started. My mom was pregnant with me, right? So we're going way back. So she described it to me that I was so rambunctious I couldn't keep still. So what she used to do to lull me to sleep, she used to put headsets on her stomach. And that would just kind of calm me and just be kind of, I just go to sleep or calm down. And then coming out the womb, like probably a few years later, elementary, middle school, like I started realizing like I like to move, I like to tick, I like to feel, and I started expressing myself, through my body, and it kind of stinks that I didn't do a lot more dance classes as far as like anything, like teaching me professionally speaking, but going to clubs and going to socials and going to parties and just at home watching YouTube, listening to music, like I was like, I needed to get something out. So I went ahead and I just worked a regular life. I was in a restaurant. I met a girl, a really good friend of mine. And then what happened was that she actually partially owned a dance company. She's like, listen, well, she owned a dance studio. And she's like, listen, I want to go ahead and I put together a dance group. A crew. I'm like, okay, I'd be interested. So as soon as I got wind of it, I got into it, and it just kind of flourished from that point. Because what had happened is, actually, let me take it back. Like a year or two ago, I actually took some classes at a local campus, like college campus. And the first moments I walked into a dance studio, I felt like I belonged. I felt like, intuitively speaking, It just felt like I've been there before.
It felt like you were home.
It felt like I was home, just the whole rhythm and getting to know other people and watching yourself do what you do and perfecting it. Like I just became obsessed with it, and I did my thing. I did a few semesters there, and then I let it go. And then going back to the restaurant story, I met my friend, co-owned a studio, and then she said, "Hey, there's a dance crew that I'm heading. You want to be part of it?" I helped her collaborate with it, the dances and stuff, and we went off. We performed all around town. We started doing things called flash mobbing. I don't know if you know what that is.
100%. They used to be big. I don't know, like 5-6 years ago, but I saw on social some friends did one the other day. It's like, whoa, where did that go? It's back.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So the thing is just collective sharing of energy, right? So I never knew that it would destine me to one day do kind of what I'm doing. So it's a form of self-expression, right? So that came along, right? So it was great. So we did the flash mobs, we did the individual performing, we did schools, we did wine festivals, we did all kinds of different places just to get our name out there and stuff. And I had to back away from it for a bit due to health reasons. But the thing is I did leave it. Right. And then here I am going through life, doing my jobs and stuff like that. So another situation came with another dance crew, and I did the same thing. I put my all into it, grew, and I got to learn people. We performed all different places. But again, it's just life happened and I had to dip out. Right. So now we fast forwarded to now, that same girl, how serendipitous, that same girl that I lost contact with, my friend, came into contact with again. She kept contact with other friends, and she kept contact with all these dancers. So it just so happens to be that one of the flash mobbers who came in right when I left the crew was a designer from New York. And the thing was that she was putting together a show that she needed one male dancer. And with me getting a hold of my friend again after so many years ago, what we did with the dance crew, she mentioned my name. I got in contact with her and I coordinated my first show. And I choreographed. I walked down. I did my modeling thing, but I did my dance stuff too. And I was just so proud of it. It was for charity. It was a big event. Like, I know I stuck out. There was like 10 shows there, and they kept like congratulating us on this one show. And I just added dance moves to the show. You know what I mean? And it was so great that we actually got picked up again by another group who saw us from this charity, right? And then what's happening is they're offering a job. So we're actually performing in January next month to go ahead and do this even bigger event with bigger people, if you want to say. Like, it's a lot more of a crowd. It's a lot more networking opportunity for me. And I just feel like it's the right time and everything's just working out of my wheelhouse. I talked to my designer. She agreed that, yeah, you're the main reason why we kind of got this. So, everything's elevating in a way to where it just feels so right. And it just tunes in with my whole tarot side of it, because it's all about intuition. It's all about going with your gut. You know what I mean? And like, if I would have flinched on this, if I would have not had that security in me, like I can do this, then I would have missed out on this great opportunity, and it's continuing to flourish. You know what I mean? So when it comes to dance, it's just another way I express myself that's being noted and seen as much as my tarot abilities are. And I just feel like everything's happening in the right timing.
I'm getting chills. Right away, I'm serious. Right away, I get from you, you got that gig for you and others because of your energy as well. Yes, your talent. It was your energy and the intuition thing. Why don't we talk about that? Like that. It's interesting when you have a conversation. We have a plan. So, we're going to talk about this, and then it kind of pivots. Intuition. So I just text a friend, and he's a coworker, and he's a digital nomad. I don't know if I told you. He lived in Orlando, sold his house in August. He's homeless. So he just goes anywhere around the country, around the world, and he lives like a month at a time in different places. And I've spent like a few days here, a few days there with him. He's in the Dominican Republic. He's like, dude, come down, just hang out. I'm like, free stay. Yes. Intuition, right? So I'm just about to book like 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, I was going to leave that weekend. I'm like, something says don't do it. I don't know what it is. The following week, I'm like, the flight's in my cart. I'm like, no, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And it's like, all right, after Christmas this week, let's go. Just about to, and I didn't. So I messaged him today. I'm like, well, how's it going? Like, and everything. He's like, bro, good thing you didn't come down here. There's no electric where he is. The electric is off all day long. You never know when it's going to come back. He has no air conditioning. I feel bad. He can't even take a shower because the pump is electric. And he says, I can't wait to get out of here. And I'm like, I feel so bad for you. But I'm
dodge that bullet, yeah.
I'm happy I didn't go. And it wasn't even the expense because the flights were really cheap. It was just, it cost less to go to Florida than it goes to the Dominican Republic. But I use my intuition. So it's funny that we're literally just text with him and other friends too about it. How do you know it's your intuition? What do you feel?
Yeah, so going back real quick to the dance thing, right? So we used to be in the dance studios practicing for these gigs, right? And I knew I had it. I knew I had the steps. In fact, I was challenged within too. They're like, well, you need to step it up in this way, that way. And I pushed myself to do it. And I say that to say, when it came time for showtime, I was so scared. I was so not sure of myself. It all ties back to intuition, because if I knew I had the steps, why was I so worried? So I did. A lot of people aren't going to notice, but I felt like I did fumble a few steps and things didn't go as good as it could. And then as the time came along, one dance crew to another, my inner self was more strong with who I was and what I had to offer, that I was more comfortable with it. But I never had time to flourish it, right? That was 10 or 15 years ago. And now I'm coming back around to it out of nowhere. And I know there's a difference, because I know I'm speaking. I know I'm listening to my inner self, because we were practicing with this charity show I told you about that went crazy and great. And there was a moment we were practicing. It was on stage. I looked to the left, and there was a jumbotron that was in the room, and my face was on that tron. I had no hiding it. Like, this is me. I have to bear all of me. I'm going to be seen. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so healing to my inner self to know that I was only scared of ever being seen. That's why I was jittery and nervous and hesitant. And that show went off without a freaking hinge. I didn't even think about the dance moves. I just felt my way through it, and it just worked. So I know I'm at where I'm
Amazing.
supposed to be now because it's so much more easier that I'm just listening to myself and feeling than over analyzing it, right? And that's what the whole metaphysical is about, going with your feeling over anything that you may be overthinking, because that's the way to go. Because honestly, it's kind of your higher self letting you know, I've been here already. I am here now. Meet me there, right?
Never heard it put that way.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the feeling you get? Like, all right, we talked about the dance thing. Let's say you're trying to make a decision to do something. Choice A, choice B. What do you feel when something is your intuition is pushing you toward, let's say, choice A? What's that feeling?
That feeling is you already knowing if it's going to work or not. It's kind of like foresight, right? So the more you actually understand what is available to you and what feels more right than the other, it's out of your mind and just putting it into motion, right? If we're talking about tarot cards, right? So it's out of your mind, which is very sword related, right? And what action is the wands. Wands is fire, like go getter, like go get it, go do it. Stop thinking, stop feeling, do what you're meant to do. And honestly, that's what it is. You just gotta make that move on your gut instinct. If we're talking about chakras, boom, your solar plexus, right? You know what I mean? And it's just amazing, you know, like how easy things come to you when you listen and you feel and you just make the move.
And don't
And you stop
overthink.
thinking.
And don't
Exactly.
overthink, like you just
Exactly.
said, because our brain wants to go into the logic. And I've often found that the answer, and I believe we all have the answer to everything we want to know inside of us. It's there, but it's listening to it, trusting it, all of that. Usually, in my opinion and experience, it's the easy choice. But what happens? This gets in the way. Come on, it can't be that easy. No, it's got to be choice B. Definitely got to be choice B. And then you make the wrong choice.
Right, because choice B, typically speaking, is always the easier route because that's your comfort level, right? So if you go with choice A, something that seems outworld, like, you know, like crazy that you couldn't reach that magnitude, make the steps, start heading that way. You're thinking that way for a reason. You already have it somewhere in your psyche. Just develop it, work through it, build that foundation, and you're going to get there a lot easier and maybe quicker than you ever would think.
Can you think back to times where you went against your gut and you were like radically wrong? Because I got them. They go half my life back. I can tell you those moments where I was standing somewhere, like big decisions, and I'm like, that's a bad idea. I'm already halfway into. I'm just going to go with this, and I was wrong, and I knew it. Or let's say a relationship, right? You meet somebody, it's like, this seems like this is the right person. This is it. But they tell you something and you're like, it can't be that bad. Come on. And later on, it's like, wow, I should have listened. I should have listened to my gut.
Definitely, bro. Tons of times, you know, and like I think all of us innately do have the gift of intuition, of discernment of what's right for us opposed to what's wrong, right? But we also know okay, this is how I've been studying it to be. We have our human self and our ego and what people expect of us, right? But then we have our higher self on the kind of metaphysical plane, right? That you're like, wait, this doesn't feel right. I have to go with that. But because it's so elusive and you can't see it, people are so unaware that that's their answer, right? So they stick to the physical, what everyone expects, and what they're, the easier route. So, I haven't raised my hand in classes. When I've had jobs, I didn't speak up when I should have. Like, people are taking my ideas sometimes because I thought of it, but I didn't say anything. When it comes to like on the home front, the family growing up, like I just grew up in a real tough, family where no one was really present about their feelings, right? And nor did they want to explore them, and I was the only one who wanted to, right? So, and it kind of leads me to what's going on now, and I just feel like because I felt so isolated at times with people who should understand me, like I'm just listening to my inner self even more. So, because those times that you talked about, like everyone has them, where you should have spoke up, you should have made a different decision, you should have stopped caring so much about someone and put that effort into yourself to grow the right way. And we all have those moments in us, and it's, no down on anyone because everyone's on their own journey. But when you know something and you start to, we call awaken, and you start to really listen to that voice, it can get lonely, right? Because a lot of people are just so driven to what they see on the outside, to where when you do start focusing inward, you need that time alone. You need that solace to realize who's really good for you, what decision is going to be best for you. And that gives you the power to speak up in turn where you never did before. And now, for example, I'm speaking up all the time now. I'm putting my visions into action. I'm putting like everything I'm thinking and feeling into words, and it's really flowing easier, because you have to have that solo growth time. Everyone needs that, and a lot of people are scared of it. So I don't like to think that I would go back there, but yeah, I can relate to you more. Everyone can relate to not speak up because it's not the norm. But I'm okay with being different, and all of us have our own uniqueness, and that's why I feel like I'm flourishing in a lot of different areas.
Well, you are, and
Yeah.
you run deeper than I ever thought, and
Yeah.
I understand it. Believe me,
I feel it. I do. Yeah,
I
of
do.
course.
It's
Yeah.
like, I connect with people. It's all good, but I find that sometimes, and not in like a stuffy way, but I just like I run a little bit deeper. Like I have friends, I'll talk about intuition or even energy, and they're more logical, and they're not even listening. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. You're great. And then we move on. When you say the solo time, to foster your growth and really like basically figure out who you are, how did that look for you? What does that mean?
So it means one key difference, and I'll say this to everyone, and I have, is when you are alone, everyone has alone time, right? Whether you're about to go to
Everyone
sleep,
needs alone time.
that part, right? And you need to make time for it, right? Because there's a huge difference, and this is what I'll say: there's a huge difference between being alone and being lonely, right? And if you go ahead and you go to the latter and you feel that you need someone there, it leans on the line of codependency, of you not being sure if you really need it. You just feel comfort in a way you can't explain from somebody else's energy. But the trick to it is to be more in tune with your own energy.
Yep.
And you can go ahead and share more of your energy to more people, but with the right people, right? And that's where hard decisions come, because you start to see, once you start doing that solo work and what I call shadow work, everyone calls it, you have to see the badness in you and work through that dark to get to the light, right? And when you start sharing that light, you start realizing quicker than ever what people are really receptive of it, and what people are very, like, they judge it, they get combative, like they don't want to hear it, like it's kind of like the light irritating the dark, right? And the more you're with yourself, the more you see your light, and the more you're able to open up your purpose and move forward without a flinch, no matter what anyone says.
100%. I completely agree, and I'm not saying that just because we're talking today. I really do agree. If you haven't done the work, then sometimes you do feel like lonely as opposed to alone. It's like, it's almost like, you can hang out with other people, and that's all good. But when they say like, you need to date yourself, like going out myself today. Really? Okay. Yeah,
exactly.
We're going to have a good time.
Yeah. Have you, like, I've been to dinner and movies alone, and I'm okay. Like, do you do those things for yourself maybe, or have you?
Not enough. As a matter of fact, even, I'm texting with friends, whatever, getting together, like I said before, it's like, I'm feeling thirsty, hungry for alone time. Like I need like a minimum, like a day. I just, do my own thing, whatever it is, go for a massage, cheap massage, whatever. Just drive to the beach. I'm near a beach, just hang out, stare at the water. Just taking that time to not be around other energy, because I feel that, I know in me, like I pick up on it. And after a while, it's just like, oh, my head is like
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just the road we're on, right? It's all about the journey and not the destination, right? So when you go ahead and you feel those moments alone, and you know what it's like to be complete on your own, the overwhelmness will stop. You know what I mean? Like as a kid and stuff, growing up, we're talking about dancing and stuff like that. Like there'll be people who didn't believe that I deserved that spot. There'll be people that think that, like, why is he getting that? I'm better, blah, blah. And you see it in their faces, you feel in their attitude, but you power through those situations because everyone's growing on their own level. Like I wasn't appreciated fully at times. I had to appreciate myself. And there was one specific instance where I had to literally battle it out on the floor with a couple more dancers to own my spot in the front rather than like at the back or whatever it was. And that whole moment, just staring at myself in the mirror and the other dancers, and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going, and I got it. And I got it because I felt it more than I was it. You know what I mean? It's not that I knew the steps. It's how I hit them and my passion with it. And they saw that and they gave in. And you're like, you know what? We're stop talking to Ish. You got your spot. And I got it. You know what I mean? It's moments like that you really need to like feel proud of yourself, to know that you busted through the mold of not caring what people think, to go in and get what you deserve.
Do you feel it was almost your intuition moving your body? I don't know if that makes sense. Instead of you thinking, all right, I got to do this, I got to do that, you just let it take over.
It's like basically another outlet for my passion. And that's why I feel like people are so caught off guard with it. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest dancer, but I have a lot of rhythm, right? And however that came by to be, that's how I express it. That's how I let it out. And then that goes right into my tarot, right? Like literally, you even said it the last part, like it's an event. And it really is, because I don't stand still. I don't sit still. I do hold hands. I do look. I do cry with. I do get mad with. I do high fives and laugh with. I experience every emotion with my clients. And that's what I feel like I'm destined to do, because all these other little outlets, the dancing, the voice demo stuff that I do, like, it's just another outlet of energy that I hone in for my tarot. And to be honest, like, it makes me see so many people in so many different ways. I know not just to throw my energy. I know when to play with it more. So actually, what my clients don't know is that it actually does just as much for me in turn as it does for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't want to run out of time. We keep mentioning the tarot aspect of it. Yeah, we've skimmed that before. We first time we got together, you did a reading on me. Spot on.
Great to hear.
It really was. You do performances blending tarot. Like, never even heard of that.
Right, man. Right. So I joked about it at first, like I'm a circus act. You know what I mean? It's like I'm the one that people gravitate to. I'm like, okay, let me pay this monkey to do a little dancing. But the thing is like it just comes out. It comes out. So okay. So when I get my first client of the night, when I do my live events, for example, so there's tons of people walking by. They're at wine festivals and art things, and and I'm just there reading whoever wants me to read, and it just becomes so intimate, to where it's like you see me reaching out to them. You see me getting excited about their energy. You see me like just conversing with them like old buddies. And that's the draw. And I've noticed it, man, like a circus act, right? Like you start seeing people stop by my table, signing up, looking at me. I have to pause my reading for a second. I'm so sorry. And then I talk to them. They're interested. They come back. I give them a call. Then we follow through and we do Facebook Lives like this or whatever it may be. And like it's literally face to face, and they want that energy, right? Because I'm so open. And I think that's why anyone performing wise, they have that energy about them, that this is who I am. This is what I'm going to share to my full potential. And people resonate with that. Why do you think celebrities are such a big thing? You know what I mean? Like whatever they have to offer, they resonate to the masses because they're reached on the global scale and everyone has energy to share or to explore. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes when people say I see them in me, and they could be like talking about surface level, like skin color or nationality, but it's more than that. People don't understand that you gravitate to maybe these celebrities or people in your life more because, you relate to them on a level that the same growth pattern and, way that they're on, you want to be on. You want to explore, but there's some reason why you're not. And they're your like outlet to be like, that's who I aspire to be. And that's why, it's like, there's so many different ways to look at people. And I just feel like with the whole circus act of it all and stuff, like that is my draw. You know what I mean? I definitely go in and I feel the person out, and other people see it and want it because we all want connection.
I don't even know how to put this. I appreciate you even calling it a circus act, because you're being real, and it's kind of in a fun way. It's almost like I'm poking fun at myself, but I'm serious about what I do, and I know what I do is unique. And again, with everything you do, the common thread here is your amazing energy rides all of it, and I really feel that's what that, aside from every talent you have, that's pushing you through. That's like a ship. The ship is the front of the ship is like this, and it pushes the water out of the way. That's your energy, moving it out of the way. Same thing with the dancing. Same thing with the unique aspect of the tarot readings. We're just about out of time.
It flies. It flies when you really go and you flow. You flies. Yeah.
Really, really, really does. How does somebody connect with you? I know you're in the Central Florida area, but if anybody wants to take a look at you, talk with you, even get a reading, how do they do that?
Exactly. So, thank the stars for social media, right? So no one's limited to just the Central Florida area with me. So I do have clients all around, and you can get at me 3 different ways. It's Xander Martinez 1224. It's going to be TikTok. It's going to be Instagram. Same on Facebook. And I would suggest Facebook because that's, we can do this. We can see each other face to face. So whoever it is, I get your energy more that way. We do the whole thing, and, we'll see what comes out of it. I offer 20, 40, or 60-minute readings. So.
Awesome. Fantastic talking with you. It really is. Like, just keep throwing that energy over here, man.
Yeah. I mean, I love sharing it. I have so much to give, and I'm happy I'm finding these outlets,
100%. And Happy New Year. And I know I'm using my intuition. It's going to be a good one for you.
Bro, thank you. Yeah, it's the same. You circle those vibes right back to me. Like, that's all I'm doing. And just to go ahead and point out, too, one of my good friends, we actually just did the other day a vision board. And if you guys don't know or haven't done a vision board, whoever's listening, do it. It's literal manifestation. And I'm looking at it. I have mine done, and I did it on my birthday. My birthday was Christmas Eve. It just passed.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks. And so as soon as I got it, I was like, all that good energy into the new year. So guys, really think about what you want for this new year.
Thank you for saying that, because I started finding pictures for my vision board, never printed them out. And I'm in a men's group, really impactful. Never thought I'd ever do anything like that. We met this past Monday. And one of them said, you know what, we're going to do an activity. You know, one of the men's like, we're going to do vision boards. And some of the other men like, I really don't know. And then when it was explained, they're like, yeah, we'll make an activity. It'll be fun. We'll just be because it works. And I know people that swear by them.
And it's deep. It's so much deeper than people think. Just clipping up stuff, but no, it's so much more than that. So much more.
Yeah. That's my weekend project. Thanks for the reminder.
Make sure you get it done before the ball drops.
Okay. Got a goal.
That's the thing.
Awesome talking with you. Thanks a lot for being here today.
You too, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit. And make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.